Welcome on in, everybody, to essentially what is the semifinals of the HC Duos World Cup Qualifier number 1. This did have a prize pool for the winnings, but to me, what is even cooler is essentially this is the format where we're in qualifier number 1 right now, and qualifier number 2 is going to be on December 27th, and this is put on by HC Tournaments, Comunidad Hispana. I'm guessing the HC, was that Hispana Comunidad? I should have asked them, because yes, I did actually connect with the team, at least some of the team that's behind that server, and they wanted me to point to their Discord server, so we're gonna do that right here, right now. But first, let's introduce our players, and then we'll kind of have like a minute of just housekeeping. I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but our player's perspective, essentially who we're spectating right here on the bottom half of the screen. That is Erikitoh, H. There's an H at the end. Maybe it's just Erikitoh as is, hailing from Spain. And while this is Comunidad Hispana, I would say that there's actually many of the players are from kind of just everywhere, right? Like we had people from the #1 winner actually was someone from Japan, but like I said, Spain, and then we had competitors from Austria, Brazil, Mexico, Indonesia, but also the top half of the screen, I'm assuming that that's going to be LesRiques. They're from France, and so I'm wondering, is it like LesRiques? It's like, you know, you don't say Les Miserables for Les Miserables, right? So again, it's like LesRiques. I do not know, seriously. Professor's research goes down for them right now, and we are happy to see that this is some more of that Mythical Island. It's going to be mixed with some of that genetic Apex, but I mean, really, we have a healthy mix of Mythical Island cards in here, and maybe some new meta, new things to see. But of course, we called this the semifinals. You could really call it the top 4, so this is one of the matches in that top 4 to take you to the finals. So whoever wins this essentially is going to go on to the finals and get defeated, because I already said it, but the person's username was OI that won. He was from Japan, so OI. But man, I can remember my professional days of commentating Pokemon Unite and stuff. I was on the Pokemon Company's actual channel and stuff, broadcasting it, and that's where this channel started, Pokemon Master Kendo. But anyway, you guys, sometimes it would get hard to guess or say certain competitors' names and whatnot, and so I'm getting into that territory, aren't I? Especially as we get lots of other regions of the world registered for these tournaments. I love to see it, you guys, but Gyarados is on the bench right now, and it's the Gyarados EX from Mythical Island, yes. So that is looking good for Erikitoh. He's also got Druddigan, man. It's you would want Druddigan in the active spot, of course. That's just at least you're kind of typical with this new meta with Druddigan, is that the rough skin, right? So that's its ability. Sometimes we go over some of these basics for people that don't know, if they're either brand new to TCG Pocket, TCG, or maybe just like the Mythical Island cards. And so we'll talk about Whirlipede and Scolipede here too in a second, because LesRiques right now has it, at least Whirlipede. But yeah, so the rough skin on Druddigan, though, it's just basically when that Druddigan is attacked, the Druddigan has to be in the active spot, but it's going to do 20 damage kind of as a rough skin recoil, you know, so it's going to actually damage the opposing Pokemon back, you know. It's kind of sweet, and we're going to see Greninja hitting the bench. There's way too much going on for me to talk about, and I'm still trying to do some housekeeping here. But anyway, you guys, it looks like Leaf actually, no, okay, we're not going to go through with that on Erikito's side down here, but it was cool, presuming your name is LesRiques, over there in France on the top. You've got the Whirlipede right now, and so the great thing about Whirlipede is setting up for that Scolipede, because Whirlipede is going to poison the opponent's Pokemon. It's just 1 energy right there for that poison sting, 20 damage, surefire poison. It's nice because then you are indeed looking for that Scolipede to follow, which is only 2 energy essentially for 70 damage, but if the active Pokemon of your opponent is poisoned, then that's going to do 50 more in addition to that. So crazy, right? Anyway, Greninja right here. Erikitoh looking to go forward with this Water Shuriken, I guess. I mean, that's Shuriken de Agua. And so that's nice. The Water Shuriken does do 20 damage to any of the opponent's Pokemon right there. And so it's kind of a good way to have Druddigan out here in the active spot with the rough skin. It's, you know, sometimes your opponent is wary to attack it because they know they're going to take a 20 damage there, but then your Greninja straight from the bench can be hitting with that 20 damage as well. And so I do just want to tell people the Greninja did hit Tauros. That was the target of the Water Shuriken. We're going to talk about that in a second, but right here it gets a little iffy. There is something going on with the Twitch VOD where it was like freezing right there. And so you can see, like, even me watching the Twitch VOD, I'm scrambling to try to get this to work. I think they on the stream were trying to get this to work. It's like the game seemed like it was frozen or something. But let me try to assure you that I know what's going on, at least for the most part, is that LesRiques LesRiques used a leaf, just in case anyone doesn't know. It's just a retreat cost. It's going to be 2 less, so kind of like X speed times 2. And so they retreated that Whirlipede up top, but put Venipede there in the active spot. And so that's mostly what we need to know. The Venipede didn't attack or anything like that. And so then Erikitoh did use a leaf of their own. And so that was to take Druddigan out, because you're going to see that Gyarados now has the energy, essentially Gyarados EX, of course. And so again, you have no idea how embarrassing it is for me to not have stuff. Like, I just really wish that they had a spectator client in this game, but please. Anyway, there's a lot going on, because it's like, after the leaf was played from Erikitoh, down on the bottom was that the Gyarados EX came in and seems to have KO'd the Venipede. And so then LesRiques put in Tauros, and so I'm really hoping that that catches people up, because we do want to talk about Tauros, and this is the Mythical Island Tauros, of course, because there is one from Genetic Apex. It is 3 energy actually to use this fighting tackle, but the really cool thing is that if your opponent's active Pokemon is an EX Pokemon, then the attack does 80 more damage on top of that 40 that it already does. And so it is sort of just the EX Stomper, that's what I've been liking to call it. Tauros has Stomp, you guys know that. Shuriken going down, the Water Shuriken right here. And so Erikitoh can play that, and it looks like that's going to be a 20 damage to the Whirlipede, which is nice. That's a nice setup to try to stop the Scolipede, right? And so here we go. It looks like Gyarados EX. It's menacing enough even against the EX Stomper, because that Rampaging Whirlpool attack that it has is 140. You do have to use 4 energy, and so obviously it does sit on the bench for a while until it gets out to be the star of the show, but it's going to be, that 3 water energy, 1 colorless, and you have to discard a random energy from that to use the attack. And so you actually have to discard a random energy from any Pokemon that are yours or the opponent's, all that have energy attached to them. But yes, a Sabrina was played from LesRiques, and so it looks like, of course, Druddigan gonna be put out here. That's a good Pokemon, honestly, to substitute for that Gyarados EX, because again, there you go. It looks like Whirlipede, obviously not having too many other options, is gonna go ahead and try to attack, get that poison going, but obviously they take the 20, from the rough skin. So really, that Druddigan, it's a beast, and it does look good all around for Erikitoh. What we're gonna see right now is another Leaf, that trainer card that allows you to have 2 less energy on that retreat cost. But look at this, that's gonna be the concession. And so right here, that is looking like victory for Erikitoh. And so once again, I do want to shout out the team. Specifically, I ran into, I think it was Raydorm. So Raydorm. So major shout out to him, man, on that. So follow that Twitch channel too if you want to see kind of their tournament live streams of these. It is usually in Espanol, so if you speak Spanish, that's great. I was speaking a little Spanglish with him and stuff, so we both knew enough. But anyway, let's go. It's going to be round 2. And the team did want me to shout out their Discord server, so I'm going to have that everywhere. There's going to be like text here. There's going to be description text, top pinned comment. You guys can find it for sure. But please, join their Discord for one, just because this is a really great team. I think anybody putting on a tournament in Pocket, and if you want to be kind of part of the tourney scene, these are good Discords to join, because you could join in these tournaments too. But also, if you want to maybe see an unfiltered, perhaps we could call it, if you want to see a look at some of these matches, they might stream them on the Discord too. So it's just good all around for that. And so in this game too, it does seem like LesRiques gonna be sticking with that Tauros in the active spot first. And that's okay. It's just that it takes a lot of energy to generate up, when you're starting this early on in the match. The one thing you can rest assured, right, that most likely if they've got Druddigan in that active spot, they're probably not going to be actively trying to attack you. Now, here's the thing, though, that Gyarados EX is going to be hitting the bench right now for Erikitoh. And so that is going to be a little bit rough, because they play the Misty card right here, looking to try to get some of that water energy, because it needs a lot, right? And so, unfortunately, flipping Tails the Fox right there on that first flip, that first go at it, which stops the whole progress of the Misty altogether. And so I know we've given a lot of airtime to it, but the other thing about that Druddigan, and the reason we say it probably won't be attacking, is not just because it's 3 energy to do that, not just because it's that tank using rough skin to always deal damage back, but you would have to do fire energy, water energy, and then either one of the two, colorless energy after that, just to do that 90 damage, no other effects and things. Whereas Whereas, again, you're probably using it more as the staller to build up something else, like this Gyarados EX that's going to be on that bench right now. And so, yes, the Shrek has moved. That's all on their side, you guys. I didn't put Shrek down there. I know that some people think Shrek is love, Shrek is life, and some people absolutely do not. But listen, I have to, until they have a spectator mode in this game, and who knows what that's going to be like. Anyway, I do have to kind of rely on the gumption of the streamers, of the other people putting their footage up, and who knows what they're going to be using to hide the hand so that there's no snipage. But yeah, it does seem that they are waiting right now. We're going to see what LesRiques is going to do right here. And they do have Whirlipede ready, so that is probably the right choice, right? You know, and now they have the Leaf. Okay, so that's going to help out a lot. You know, the Leaf going to come in clutch right there because Tauros also kind of has that bigger retreat cost too. I mean, it's 2 energy, so I'm just saying that you don't want to have to lose that, right? Especially this early on in the match. But yeah, I think they're also thinking like, hey, I'm going to create some pressure right here. Whirlipede, full HP. Let's go ahead and poison it. And so they will get that poison sting off for the 20 damage, but also the poison's going to just create 10 on that same turn, so you might as well say 30. Again with the Misty card. It's just, that is so brutal, right? That always happens to me too. You guys, you gotta comment if this happens to you, right? What happens to you guys on Misty? It's always stopping that progress. So anyway, we can do the Water Shuriken right here, straight up from the bench, just like last game. That's what they're gonna do, right? Take out this Whirlipede, because hey, kind of when you think about it, yeah, the poison, the damage from Poison Sting to do that 20. I know it's gonna take the 20 back from Rough Skin, but it's like, if you can maybe, both of them are thinking like, yeah, let's get out that active spot Pokemon. It's just the problem is, from the standpoint of LesRiques, you have to wonder, unless they have Scolipede, no, so they actually will retreat it. So they're gonna retreat to Coughing, because yeah, I was gonna say, like, they would really be outpaced. And then of course you have the Gyarados EX there sitting on the bench, just like, hey, I'm ready, you know. So you got Coughing right there in the active spot. It can do that suffocating gas whenever it has the energy to attack, but hey, you gotta have that energy on. Right now does not, and so would be nice just to do a little bit of damage, although you do have to consider the Rough Skin. So it just kind of matters about like what's in your hand. Do you have a Weezing? You know, do you not want this damage on? Because some people might say like, if I damage it, I'm gonna take that damage right now. The problem is that this deck, and it's very good if Erikitoh is gonna have this Greninja, right? So the Water Shuriken is what creates that extra pressure, because it's like, okay, well, if you're not gonna attack my Druddigon, then I'm gonna still do that 20 damage with the Water Shuriken. So I do, you know, I really like that. It does seem kind of menacing, just, hey, we're gonna keep whittling down at you until Gyarados EX is ready. Am I right, you guys? So the poison is at least taking its effect slowly. It's just, you know, how long can LesRiques outlast? PR, Professor's Research, gonna go down right there. So Oak giving them 2 cards to draw. We'll have to see if something comes in handy. I mean, at this point, you either got a Sabrina this Druddigon out, or really maybe start getting in that damage right here. The problem is you're not even gonna KO it on this turn right here. It would have to be all the way on the next go around with that poisoning. So unless you have Giovanni, right? But we can safely say, actually, though, that their deck does not have Giovanni in it. So here you go. That is gonna be the Weezing. And this is the Weezing we know and love from Genetic Apex. Of course, you got the Gas Leak as your ability that can make somebody poisoned right there. It does pair well with that Scolipede if we're ever going to see it, man. But of course, we haven't seen that, and the Druddigon's already poisoned right here. And would you look at that? I'm sure LesRiques is going to be upset at that one, because there's another Druddigon. So just in case Erikitoh needs more time, this is not looking good. Again, Water Shuriken gonna create some pressure right now. You're gonna deal that 20 damage, and so pick your target, man. Any of them are good, except for probably not Tauros right now. You got, of course, Whirlipede down here, but why not this amazing Weezing alt art card? It does look pretty cool, you guys. Although I remember I was opening with Glitch X City, you guys, so we'll actually be doing a Hit Ones episode. It's like Hot Ones, but Pokemon TCG style. That's on my channel here. But yeah, I was opening with her, and she's like, what is Weezing actually doing right there? And I was like, what is Weezing ever doing, right? But okay, Druddigon does take that poison, and so yeah, they ended up using the Shuriken to hit that Whirlipede over there, and so it does look like Venipede now going to be hitting the bench, and hopefully Whirlipede soon to follow. Scolipede, you need something over there from LesRiques' side, because you gotta worry about this Gyarados EX. It's basically ready, right? You know, you just need that 1 energy. You do worry a little bit with this deck that Erikitoh Erikitoh is using, because when you're going to be doing that rampaging whirlpool for 140, like we said, you're going to be discarding energy, so you do have to make sure that you are willing to kind of part with an energy from each of the Pokemon that are out in play. Your opponent too, of course, but hey, what are you worried about that for if you're the one playing it? Am I right or am I right? But here we go. It does look like Weezing gonna go through with it. Give it that tackle for 30 damage. Will take, of course, the damage from the rough skin. And that does look like LesRiques can finally put on a point on the board right here. Prize points. Forgive any disruption in play. Streamers kind of getting other pop-ups, I think, windows. Sometimes you got to do a lot, right? If you're hosting a tournament and whatnot, we really got to try to be forgiving. But it does look like actually what we missed clearly is that Greninja is now going into this spot. But hey, it's all something that's obvious. We didn't miss much, and so it does look like right now they're going to start off with the Water Shuriken. That makes perfect sense. But then after that, who's going to be getting that Mist Slash? Well, you know it's going to be this Weezing right here, which is enough to get the KO, and so right now Erikitoh is going to get that point as well. So prize points going to be 1 and 1 for each of our competitors here, and so we have to see, can Whirlipede get this poison off, maybe make a difference? And of course, they're going to play the Pokeball. It's like, the problem is, Greninja's not poisoned already, you know? So like, even if they had Scolipede, let's say, it wouldn't be as advantageous at the moment, just because you wouldn't be getting that extra damage boost that you would really, really want against a Greninja at full health. It's 120 HP, and so it would have been nice to already be poisoned. And so yeah, they were getting DMs. Whoever's hosting this was that Ray, my friend. Think he was getting some DMs, so again, I'm sorry. I'm going to try to edit this as best as I can, you guys. Few technical flubs or failures, I don't know, problems that we have to contend with, but alright, it does look like Druddigon gonna be going on in right now, and that probably is the better option, because Druddigon can go ahead and tank that, rough skin it, and then Greninja can just keep applying that pressure once again. So we're gonna be kind of seeing that same tactic underway. But look at this. This is what you were kind of hoping for, huh? Is you wanted that Scolipede to finally show its face. There is no poison in play already, and so that Druddigon, of course, gonna be dealing that 20 back, but hey, you're gonna have to do it in 2 turns. Unlike if it was poisoned already, you'd be doing it in that 1. And so, of course, wouldn't you know it, Leaf gets pulled, and then, of course, Leaf gets used. And so you live by the leaf, fall by the leaf. No, not really, but hey, it looks like we're gonna go ahead and put that energy on Gyarados, get it prepared next, maybe to be that kind of home run, that pinch hitter at the number 4 spot when bases are loaded right here. So look at this. It looks like Mist Slash going down, gonna be dealing enough damage to get that KO, and there's another prize point right here for Erikitoh, starting to back LesRiques into a corner. I mean, really kind of had his back up against the wall the whole time, I feel like. It seems like it's been brutal to take this on. So yeah, that actually is the point, as we're saying it, for the concession to happen. And so that makes Erikitoh your victor right here. So he's going to be going on into that finals match. Unfortunately, going to lose to OI. Please, yes, give these competitors some props. Check out the standings right here. This will reveal what I was talking about before, where you see people from all over on the territories right there. But yeah, this was what I was looking at, was the pairings right now. And so that kind of showed you the trajectory of these 2 competitors, what it took to get here. And so once again, please look out for their Discord over there at HC. Click an end screen after that. And thanks for viewing.